Well, we take a look at how the tail of the tape sets up here for Korobov. He has the height advantage, but the reach advantage goes to Cory Jones, and that's important because he will want to box in this match, and so that could be somewhat significant for him. A lot of them are the same as we take a look down the tail of the tape. Bernardo Osuna will give you the rules.
We're using the unified rules tonight, the 10-point must system with the scoring. There will be no standing 8 count and no 3 knockdown rule will be in effect. The fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round, and the doctor referee can stop the fight at any time. We take our first look at Matt Korobov, who came over from the Ukraine. A spectacular, a stellar amateur career. And he was a European champion, Russian champion, and now ready to go with Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Mecca of sports and entertainment, Madison Square Garden, New York City, USA, where tonight Top Rank Incorporated is proud to present an evening of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment. Sponsored by Tecate Cerveza con Attitude and Affliction. All bouts sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this first contest: Julie Letterman, Robert Perez, and Robin Taylor. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action at the bell, Johnny Callis. And now from Madison Square Garden, let this party begin with a special 4-round contest. This is in the middleweight division. Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white with black and yellow, officially weighing in at 157 pounds. His professional record, 4 victories. 1 KO with 4 defeats from Brooklyn, New York. He is Cory. Let me get that Jones. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing red, trimmed with white, official weight 160 1/2 pounds. This Olympian has a perfect professional record consisting of 3 bouts, 3 victories, all by knockout. He's a 2-time amateur world champion, fighting out of St. Petersburg, Florida, originally from Orotokan, Russia, the undefeated Matt Korobov. God bless.
Cory, Matt, you received your instructions in the dressing room. Protect yourself at all times. Above all, obey my commands at all times. First command is right now, touch him up. Touch him up again. When the bell rings, come out fighting. Good luck to the both of you.
So Matt Korobov, with an extensive amateur background, 310 fights, and by his reckoning, he had 300 wins and 10 losses.
Pretty good record, of course, representing Russia in the Olympics and getting to the second round there, and undefeated as a pro.
2007, a world amateur champion.
His opponent tonight, Cory Jones, not too shabby either. He was a 95 Golden Gloves winner here in New York, 94, and actually the 2004 Olympic trials. He was close to going to the Olympics, and he ended up losing to Vanes Martirosyan, who's one of the hottest prospects out there right now.
Korobov, 3-0, all 3 wins by way of knockout. This is a 4-round fight. Cory Jones from New York, a record of 4-4 and 1 knockout. He had an extensive amateur career as well.
189 fights with 10 defeats as well, so they both had the same number of defeats. More amateur fights, though, for the Ukrainian.
And you know, the thing that separates them, of course, are years. And at 31, Cory Jones trying to kind of figure out where his career can get to. He fought only a couple of weeks ago and lost to John Porter, and here he is back in the ring already 2 weeks later. But he said, I want to do better, and I was in shape, so I took this fight on a week's notice.
Very interesting situation. His nickname, Let Me Get That. If you take a look at his stomach, he was shot 4 times in a robbery. They were trying to steal his jewelry, and those were the words that they used when they took the jewelry. They said, or tried to take the jewelry, said, "Let me get that." He did not give it up. He ended up getting shot 4 times, 3 times in the stomach, once in the thumb, and that truncated his career right when he was ready to make it into the professional ranks. The lefty Korobov really trying to start things off and really feeling each other out here in the first round of this pay-per-view event. Obviously, Korobov has had a chance to fight on the Margarito Mosley undercard at the Staples Center, now at Madison Square Garden under Cotto against Jennings. Impressive for a fighter who's basically in his 4th professional fight.
Well, you can tell he's on the fast track. You know, Dan Birmingham, his trainer, a noted trainer, former trainer of the year, and they believe this young man can move more quickly. You know, Jones is a boxer, Korobov is a boxer-puncher, so you would expect this kind of first round where they're probing a bit and trying to feel each other out.
Both with similar amateur backgrounds.
Korobov said that being a lefty should be an advantage as we come to the end of the first round. Cory Jones said, "Not a problem for me. I fought 2 of them in 8 professional fights."
Well, the end of a fairly nondescript first round.
People starting to file in here to the Madison Square Garden, the Mecca of boxing.
When he backs up, you stay. You stay with him. Keep punching. Let him breathe first, George. Let him breathe first. Great. Let that hook go. Let that hook go sometime. All right? Now more pressure.
Once you get close, you gotta work. All right? But don't look to get close just by getting there. Slide your way to there, and then you work.
Let's go.
All right? That's the way you handle that. You stay where you at, where you can see. But once you slide in, you stay in there and work.
Throw some punches.
Round 2 of 4. Neither fighter at the moment seems intent on imposing his will on the other.
That's very important because they need to do that in a 4-round fight. Really, you can't take any rounds off, Al. They both need to be a little bit more aggressive and really dictate the pace.
Yeah, it's true. In these short fights, you're absolutely right, Bernardo. You know, 8 of 10, according to CompuBox numbers, 8 of 10 of the Korobov's connects were body shots. So he's going downstairs early in this match.
That's a good thing for a fighter to establish young in their career because that's the lost art of the current young and up-and-comers. They really don't go to the body. And for a 4-round fight, it's not really going to take effect as much. But when you start getting into 8, 10, 12-rounders, that's when that body work really takes effect and it becomes a part of your arsenal. Cory Jones said he would move around. That was what he told us in the fighter meetings. He's more of a boxer, a counterpuncher. But really, Matt Korobov hasn't given him too many opportunities to counterpunch as of yet either.
Now, and he talked about, you know, Cory Jones did the fact that he has fought a number of lefties, a couple as a pro and many as an amateur. So he doesn't feel that's a problem. But Cory Jones kind of in the wheelhouse of that straight left hand by Korobov. And there it is again.
Let go of him. Don't hold. Let go of
Also being connected by the jab prior to that left. And he said he wanted to establish that tonight more than he has before in his fights. And we really haven't seen him put that jab out there. And that's one of the arms that he's going to need to develop if he really wants to become a good fighter here at middleweight division, because he's got to be able to keep guys off of him. Tonight, Cory Jones isn't too aggressive, but eventually he will fight top-notch opposition who will be coming at him with more punching output.
Neither fighter as yet. There's a straight right hand with any significant blows to the other.
This round, Korobov has controlled better from long range with the jab and the straight left hand. And there's work on the inside by Korobov, which we haven't seen too much of early on, but we saw it there. Dan Birmingham said Korobov has probably the best work ethic of any fighter he's worked with. That's saying something. Birmingham's worked with a lot of top flight fighters.
Don't punch.
Korobov landed a nice left, but then was caught by a right by Cory Jones as the second round now comes to an end.
And so ends the second round of 4. Korobov, actually his parents moved to the United States before he did. Tonight, the ring card girls aren't just ring card girls. They are Wilhelmina models.
There you go, an important piece of information.
Our crack research department working through the night to uncover that morsel of information. Trainer Sam Brunch and Cory Jones.
Well, Korobov in the last round landed a number of straight left hands, but that was a power jab that got through. Used the left hand to set that up.
And we take another look at it. The left hand, and then he comes over the top, trying to get a good shot on Cory Jones, who uses his head movement to tie him up.
The beginning of round 3 of 4.
Korobov using the jab a little bit more in the last round or two, and that's been a key for him. In round 1, he was a little slow to get that off, but it's controlling this fight much better now, and Cory Jones having a hard time getting past it.
The difference in reach isn't in Korobov's favor. Actually, he's an inch and a half shorter, but just the fact that he uses his jab and he's throwing punches is keeping Cory Jones off of him more than anything. Beautiful right there by Korobov.
Well, as the great Gil Clancy often said, trainer of Emil Griffith, the man who was a matchmaker in this great building, jabs are as much about timing as anything else, and Korobov is using the timing of his jab very effectively.
Well, Jones doesn't appear to be necessarily bothered by the fact that Korobov is a left-hander.
Cory, let go.
He's just had a hard time, period, getting off offensively, Cory Jones. And Korobov has kept him at bay with the jab and thrown in enough of those straight left hands to create havoc for him.
Said he wanted to redeem himself for his poor performance 2 weeks ago against John Porter. Really not doing enough to do that tonight.
Cory, let go.
And Cory Jones really, he was saying, he's not bothered by the left stance. I think he's bothered by the fact that he hasn't been able to throw punches. And you said that properly, huh?
After a nondescript first round, Korobov, the tide appears to be turning to the young Russian in the red pants.
Yeah, he's performed very well in these last 2 rounds. And Cory Jones, who is by trade a boxer, at a disadvantage in a 4-rounder against a stylish lefty who is a very good tactical fighter, because Cory Jones is not by nature the kind of guy who's going to press the action and get in there and land big punches.
The crowd here at Madison Square Garden not at all happy with either Cory Jones or Matt Korobov. I think they expected more of Korobov after he's being touted as the next great thing. He's got 3 knockouts in his 3 victories, but he needs to be aggressive if he wants to reach number 4 tonight.
It's a workmanlike effort so far from Korobov, and Cory Jones is a bit of a survivor in there, and he's not initiating a lot of the action. Charlie mentioned that Korobov's parents got here before him from Russia. He was reunited with them after 10 years of an absence when he came to Florida to be with them.
And now they all live in Florida. And after the fight is over, Korobov is going home and he's getting married.
Marrying his fiancée, Anne, who is also Ukrainian, as his mother is.
You're going to reach out with your left hand He's trying to come over the top with that right jab. That's not what I'm telling you. Don't reach out with your jab.
Alright? You okay? You feel alright? Alright. Don't worry about knocking him out. You just want to win this fight. That's all.
Korobov has been more accurate and certainly busier than Cory Jones, even though they're landing at the same percentage.
He's tired. He's still tired. Keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on, okay? Don't worry about the crowd. They don't care about the crowd. Let's go.
Trainer Dan Birmingham exhorting his young left-hander out to the fourth and final round. First of 3 fights from the Garden, our main event. Miguel Cotto and Michael Jennings coming up. And after we're done at the Garden, on to Youngstown, Ohio. Kelly Pavlik in his comeback fight against Marco Antonio Rubio.
Talked about the disparity in work rate. 48 punches thrown per round by Korobov and only 26 by Jones, according to CompuBox, and it shows how much busier Korobov has been.
There's a situation where Korobov needs to be the man who takes control of the fight and get out there and be more assertive, at least to leave a good taste in the mouth of all the fans who came out to see him here at Madison Square Garden, those watching on Top Rank pay-per-view.
There has not been much sustained action in this fight.
This is part of the development of a young fighter. You know, this 26-year-old now facing a fighter who is in there to survive a little bit more than maybe some of the 3 knockout victims that he has had, and a guy with a lot more experience than he is used to facing. And so what's happened is has been surviving, and it's made Korobov just enough to not land the big power punches that he's accustomed to landing.
We have talked about the size of this ring here tonight at Madison Square Garden. It's enormous. It's at least a 22-foot ring, and that is definitely in favor of Cory Jones and that survival mode he's in.
Yeah, very good point, Bernardo, and it is giving him an opportunity when he does move to stay out of harm's way.
And as we look ahead to the main event, Cotto and Jennings, size of the ring, how does that impact?
Well, I think for Michael Jennings, he's going to want to give lateral movement. So for him, I think he'll appreciate the fact that this ring is larger. Korobov landing some pretty good straight left hands here in this round, as he has throughout the fight, punctuating what will undoubtedly be a winning effort for him, Charlie, we would assume. Nice right uppercut by Korobov as he shows a punch that he hasn't shown us previously. He may have hurt Jones with one of those hooks and uppercuts.
Right hand, yeah. So Korobov, with now but 10 seconds left in the fight. Oh, a solid right!
6.
It's over!
Get the doctor. Stay here, baby. Stay there.
Matt Korobov saving his best for last.
Keeps his knockout string going in a fight in which he controlled the fight throughout, but didn't land a big power shot until right at the end. And it was, in fact, the right hand which he had started to unleash in the last round, and it did in Cory Jones.
I was about to say, with 10 seconds left in the fight, this would be his first decision.
And it looked like it was going to be, but he was able to get that right hand in. He really unloaded the right in the last round more effectively.
So Matt Korobov with a solid right hook is now 4-0, 4 knockouts.
A right hook, a very short, compact right hook by Korobov. As I mentioned, it's a punch that he had started to land in this last round. And let's listen and look at how this ended. very good punch by Korobov.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2 minutes, 59 seconds of the fourth and final round. The winner by knockout victory. His perfect record still intact. 4 bouts, 4 victories, 4 KOs from Russia with love. The undefeated Matt